Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the difference between artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, and deep learning. Every one of you is interested to understand what is the difference between all these fields. Then only you are in a position to take which route is good for you. So when we are talking about data science, it is a scientist field, and all the remaining artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, all these are engineering field. We are going to see what these are all and what is the difference among them. Artificial intelligence is developing machines that can simulate human thinking, reasoning, and behavior. You know very well that the robot or IoT, these machines are mimicking the human behavior. They could take the decisions based on the environment. The environment is nothing but the data analysis. So based on the data analysis, what they receive, based on the environment, they would think and they would take some decisions. So the machines are made to make a decision that is called artificial intelligence. In case of machine learning, actually the computer system learn from the environment. Here also I am talking about the environment is nothing but historical data. The machine learning, we make systems learn from the environment and use this learning to improve experiences and processes continuously. That is, their experience and process will be developed every time they receive new set of data. So this is for the machine learning. The another one, deep learning. Deep learning is also part of the machine learning. In this case, when we have a huge volume of data, and also we are in need of getting a high accuracy output response, then we will go for the deep learning. Deep learning is also a part of machine learning. Here, in deep learning, the artificial intelligence, artificial neural network is used. Artificial neural network is nothing but it is an artificial way of thinking in human being. Actually, in human brain, neurons are used to communicate information from our sensors to our brain. Likewise, we are in artificial neural networks and the nodes are used. So, and in this case also, we can have multiple layers. When you have multiple layers, that will extract higher level features from the raw input. That is called the deep learning. And data science is the umbrella of all this because all these are working based on the data. If you have high amount of data, high volume of data, then you can get more detailed analysis. Either it may be in artificial intelligence, machine learning, or deep learning. So data science is umbrella of all this. In this, we identify the raw data. Once the raw data is identified, it is being processed, analyzed, and then we have to extract relevant assumptions from the data. That is insights. The insights and the hidden pattern, all those things can be derived from the data. The data science is the umbrella of all the data analytics related fields. So career path. If you are new and you want to take any one of the way for your career, then which one is the best for you? You are thinking about. There are differences among these fields, but the difference is a very thin line because everywhere you are working with the data. The data is to be cleaned, processed, analyzed, and they get useful information or make decisions to decide and to take decisions. All those things are based on the data. So everything is same, but there is a light difference. The light difference is a thin line of boundaries. For example, if you are planning to go in the research field, then the best field is data science, where you have to study a complete thing about data and I mean wherever you get the raw data, how the raw data can be converted, how we can get the hidden information from the raw data, all those things And like you can study in the data science field if you are interested in the research side. At the same time, if you are interested in engineering side, then in this here you are going to create intelligence into software products like IoT or some robot or anything. Then machine learning are more preferably here and artificial intelligence is the best what you will take. You can either take this kind of artificial intelligence, deep learning or machine learning. That is the way you can take if you are interested to create some intelligence to the software products. So this is the difference between these two. Still, you are not sure which path to take. Either it is in the science side or the engineering side. If you are not very much sure, then you can take the data science path. The reason is the data is the key to success in all fields, whether it is artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning or data mining, data analysis or data science. So everywhere the data is the key to success. So if you, when you have a strong expertise in processing, cleaning, analyzing, and visualizing data, then you can shine in any field of this data related. Uh, if you have additionally the statistical knowledge, then that will add value to your career. So, if you are not sure, you can take data science as your initial field. And if you are just entering into the field, best you have to learn the domain. If it may be banking, financial, or insurance, or hospitality, whatever the domain, first you have to learn the domain knowledge before entering into any technical knowledge. The reason is you are going to find solutions for business problems. So you need to understand the business problem. So first you have to learn the domain. That is what for when you are starting the career. Data science. Data science, we have already discussed about data science a number of times. We all know that every single tech company is collecting a huge amount of data. The company size may be small or big or medium, either it is a startup company or whatever it is. What they commonly do is collecting the data, huge amount of data. The reason is now the data is revenue. Revenue means everywhere you make a study to that data is the oil or the fuel for future. So how the data can become revenue because of this data science. When you are applying analytics or finding the hidden insights, then it will become revenue. So then the most business insights you can generate, you can get more money. So if you, the first thing is you have to collect the data. If you have more data, then you can have more business insights. The more business insights means you will generate a high revenue. Actually, the companies are using data science to build recommendation engines, predicting user behaviors, predicting fraudulent transactions in banking transactions, and clustering the customers based on their behavior. So the companies nowadays are very much interested to use data science to with some kind of objective that can help their business running fine. All of this is only possible when we have enough amount of data. You are interested to have some kind of data science projects, I mean for predicting the fraudulent transactions or clustering the customers behavior, customers based on their behavior. Before you start a project, you need to have a huge amount of data for the data science. Then only you can apply various algorithms on the data to give you more accurate results. So the first thing for any data science person or any artificial intelligence engineering person is to collect huge amount of data. That is the first task for these people. In artificial intelligence, the engineers will enable the machines to understand data, learn from the data, and make decisions based on patterns hidden in the data. So it is the responsibility of artificial intelligence engineer to make the machines to think in the human way, and they can also make the machine to take decisions based on the environment. This is what happened in artificial intelligence. There is one thing you must be sure that you should have enough data, then only you can go for the artificial intelligence. Because the artificial intelligence requires a huge volume of data, then only the accuracy of the outcome would be very good. If you have a very small data lake that you are using to train your AI model, the accuracy of the prediction would be low. That is, it is based on the size of the data, then only the AI can learn more from the data. Otherwise, the accuracy would be very minimal. The learning process is not that much good. If you have more, that is the reason. So more the data, better is the training of the AI model, or and more accurate will be the outcome. Um, Here comes the machine learning and deep learning. If you have a huge amount of data, then you will go and you need a high level of accuracy, then you will go for a deep learning. But at the same time, you have a very limited amount of data, and you can have a compromise on the accuracy of the outcome, then you will go for a machine learning. Machine learning. So these two, deep learning and machine learning, are part of artificial intelligence. It is based on the requirement, either you can go for deep learning or machine learning. Machine learning, machine learning, as we discussed, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. We can say that machine learning is the implementation of AI. That is, when you think AI, then you are thinking of implementing machine learning. There are different ways of making a machine learn. Different types of machine learnings are available. They are supervised, unsupervised, and semi-supervised learnings. So what we do in machine learning, first you give the data to any one of the selected algorithms. This data is called a training data. The training data may be either known or unknown. If you know the training data very well, then the algorithm you are using is a supervised model. If you don't know the data very well, the training data very well, then the algorithm you are using is a unsupervised model. That is the way. So the training data will be fed into the machine to machine learning algorithm, so that the machine learning algorithm can make a final model. So once the model is available, we need to verify the performance of the model, for which we are going to use a new set of data. This new set of data is usually called testing data, that is given to the machine learning algorithm to test whether it is working fine or not. It is working correctly or not. How we are going to verify this one? Actually, we are verifying the predicted values and the actual values, whether they are very closer, that is, the accuracy is good and the algorithm is performed well. If it is good, that's okay. If the prediction and accuracy are not that much closer, that is, the accuracy is not that much good, or the performance of the algorithm is not that much good, then the algorithm is retrained multiple times until the data scientist gets that desired outcome. So we have to retrain the algorithm with some processing of the data, or we can add more features or more volume of data, by which we can retrain the algorithm multiple times until we get a desired outcome. That is, we get a proper accuracy or the proper performance of the algorithm. The two types of machine learning are supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In supervised learning, what we do, we give the input data, not only the input data, we also provide the label of every record. For example, if we are going to give the features of the fruit apple, then we may say that the features and the diamond, the shape of the fruit would be round, and the diameter would be in the range. If it, and The color would be red, and we also give the label as apple. If the fruit has a different features, then we are saying that it is not apple. From this, the algorithm will learn if the fruit is round and the diameter is within this range and the color is red, then it would say that it is apple because based on the label it will learn that it is apple. If any value of any of this feature is different, then it says it's not apple. So we are giving labels so that the algorithm can understand, okay, this is what the output would be if the features are in this range. If when you are giving not an apple, then it says it is not an apple. So once you give the training data by which the algorithm learns from the data, and when we will give you a new data for which you have to find out what is it, then it will find out based on its learning that it is an apple. If it is not an apple, it says it is not an apple. Sometimes it is giving the probability of whether the fruit is apple or not. So this is the way we work with supervised learning. In supervised learning, we guide the algorithm by giving labels. The labels says that whether it would be the outcome if the features are if this way is used, and it is and this is the way we guide the algorithm. That is the reason it is called supervised. The another one learning is unsupervised learning. In this unsupervised learning, we are not giving any labels because we don't know the data itself. We haven't seen the data, so we just give the data to the algorithm. Then the algorithm will search to find out any pattern among them. One of the unsupervised learnings is the cluster in which we give the data set, then it would learn from the features that yeah, any pattern is available over there. If the patterns are available, then it will split the data set into different groups. That is called a cluster. For in this example, it responds to the peers on the apple. So once this data will be given, it will give two clusters. One contains apple and another one contains pears. So in every cluster, the features are more or less similar. That is, they are close together. If they are close together, then that will be formed one cluster, and that is the way the unsupervised learning is working. So in machine learning, there are two kinds of learnings. One is supervised, and another one is unsupervised. In supervised, we guide the algorithm with some labels. In unsupervised, we are not guiding the algorithm with any labels because we don't know the data itself. Deep learning. Deep learning is an advancement of ML. We know very well that it is part of the ML. When you have a great volume of data and you need a high accuracy level, and there are a number of features in the data set, then you will go for a deep learning because the deep learning will give a high accuracy based on the features available in the data set. So it is also important to note that you are going to work with a high volume of data and too many features. So you must have a much powerful hardware to run on. Then only the deep learning will work. Sometimes it takes days or weeks to train the algorithm. However, you need a high powerful hardware to run any deep learning algorithm. So usually when the deep learning algorithm of utilizes the neural network algorithm. What is neural networks? It is a layers of nodes, much like the human brain is made up of neurons. You know very well that the neurons are in the human brain. They communicate with each other and the brain will take the decision. That is what happening in human brain. Likewise, in artificial neural network, we have nodes. These are all communicating to the adjacent layers so that a decision can be taken and the decision will be given as an output by the output nodes. The network is said to be deeper based on the number of layers it has. If you can have in the first example you see that there is no hidden layers, but in the second example you can see that there are there is one hidden layer. So if the hidden layers are too many, then the algorithm is said to be too deep. If it is too deep, then you can get a high accuracy and it would take most time. But at the same time, it gives a high accuracy to take the decision. So this is the way the deep learning is working on. So in human brain, a single neuron will receive thousands of signals from other neurons. I mean, our sensors are hands, legs, nose, mouth. These are from these sensors we receive signals to our brain, and the neuron will receive thousands of signals from these neurons, from another neurons. So, likewise, in artificial neural network, signals travel between nodes and assign corresponding weights. The weights, actually, based on the importance of the features, the weights can be assigned to the nodes. So, if the weight is too high, then it will impact more on the next layer of the node. That is the way the weightage is working on. So once all the nodes are communicating to the next layer, and it will again add values or weights to the features, and it again converts that to the next layer. Likewise, it is propagating to too many layers in hidden layers. Once the results are coming to output node, then output node compiles all the signals and it will give the response. This is the way the deep learning is working through artificial neural networking. So, in we have already seen what are artificial intelligence, data science, machine learning, and deep learning. And there is a thin line between these two. And if you are interested to learn any one of this area, if you are interested in for research working, then you will choose data science. If you are interested in engineering side, then you will choose artificial intelligence that comprises machine learning and deep learning. It is your choice. But if you are not sure, but first you have to learn data science because data is everything. You will need to learn how to process the data, how to analyze it, and then how it can be fed into the model. So it will be helpful for you even though you are taking the